Burgundy Ballers, welcome back to an exciting episode of the Ballin and Burgundy podcast. Yeah, I got myself, I got Andrew, I got Chris. Justin is out working right now, so shout out to him, prayers out for him. But we got an absolute all-time guest. It might be the number one episode when this comes out. Kicker for the NFL. He went to VTech. He's been undrafted a little bit, went to Carolina, played with Coach Ron, came here to Washington in 2021 and he kicked his career long here for the Commanders. Number 6 and Mr. Joey Slye. Mr. Slye, pleasure, blessing, honor to have you.
Appreciate it, guys. That's a nice intro, but I don't think this will be the best podcast of all time, but we'll try to make it there. We'll see what we can do.
Fun.
Hey, we're making it work. We're having fun with this and can't complain too much. Andrew, Chris, what's going on?
Howdy, howdy. Excited to be here, making things work. Gonna be a fun episode.
It will be fun.
Yeah.
For those who are wondering, how the hell did you get that handsome man on y'all's podcast? Y'all can thank Chris for this. He is our connection point to Mr. Slye. So, Chris, I thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Before we get into it, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe here on the channel. Head over to Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. All links will be down in the description. As you can see up here, you can go find us all over there. We've got different content every single week on all the social media platforms. We just did a prospect breakdown on Mizzou edge rusher Darius Robinson, who I'm a personal fan of going into the draft. You can go see our breakdown with Adam Aniba on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us all over there, and let's get into this. So, Miss, I wanted to start taking you back to your career long, kicking at 61 yards against the Eagles and in FedEx, I believe in FedEx Field. What was it like kicking that career long in front of, I believe it was a sold out crowd?
Yeah, I think we played Philly already at Philly. It was a close game. When we played them at home, went to overtime. Jake hit a winner in overtime, game-winning field goal in overtime, and then we had them at home, and that was kind of when we were still looking pretty strong within the start of the season, and we felt like we could definitely have Philly's number again. Played them pretty tough, like I said, the first time, and we had them on the ropes again, I feel like, the second time. So went out for a 56-yarder. Chris Paul, who is a second-year player, just was one of the new guys that we had added into our offensive line at that point, and they did a long field goal stem close to half, and he moved. So I wasn't too upset about it that I got to try again, and made both of them. Thankfully, and made the 56, and then popped back to the 61 and made that as well. But definitely kind of cool situation for me. I know the stereotype a little bit with me is I got a pretty strong leg, and I hadn't made a 60-yarder yet. I was close a couple times in Carolina. Just Denver didn't convert on them, and so for me to kind of put a 61 under my belt was definitely nice. But yeah, just another kick. I feel like at the same time, big game situations like that, and against a in conference rival with Philly, it was definitely really cool.
Yeah, I think it was. I was watching that game, or I was doing something with the boys, and I was like, 58. I think 58, and I was like, all right, Slye makes this, and I'm like, who on the line moved? What motherfucker moved on our line? And it's like, all right, and it's like 61. All right, because I like us fans, we take things out of proportion. What motherfucker moved for you? I'm sure for you guys, it's like, all righty then, it's back to doing our job.
Yeah, just step back, do it again.
Yeah,
not too big of a problem. I jokingly thank Chris later, because they were kind of giving me some props, obviously, around the organization for hitting the franchise record and all that stuff. And so I just told Chris, like, you're kind of essentially an asterisk next to that for moving this back a little bit. So I appreciate him for that.
Fair enough. I mean, even for you kicking like, is it hard just kicking at 58, or are you kind of used to going at 50, 55, just kind of practicing that?
Distance, obviously, weirdly, distance really isn't an issue for me most of the time. It's obviously accuracy, which I think every kicker is dealing with, is just making sure that you can put it in between the two yellow posts. And the farther back you get, the margin of error is just a little bit less and less. And so at certain points, my power is never really going to be an issue until we start pushing back into that like 65, almost 70. But yeah, I mean, just constantly working on more ability to be more accurate, but like I said, power is never usually an issue. So it's fun to hit some of those balls. Sometimes you get to kind of relax and you hit them a bunch during practice. Sometimes when you're in the off season, you'll kind of be a little bit crazy and start competing with some of the guys that you might train with and see who can kind of hit the bigger balls from bigger distance or longer distances. And so being able to do it in the game is always nice to be able to finally get opportunities to do that. So
Nice. I remember going to training camp, and I'll let Andrew and Chris take over for a little bit. When you guys, I say you guys being the Commanders, I would say we, but we're not, in the building, not around the team like that. When you guys brought Moneybags Michael Badgley into training camp as competition, to see who would have that, was it fun for you, kind of like seeing another kind of guy who's been in the league for a little bit, or was it like, I got some for your ass now. I'm trying to take my job. I got some for you. Or is this kind of like a fun competition to see, oh, we got this.
I mean, to be honest with you, the simple answer when it comes to a lot of that stuff is we're competing against ourselves to begin with. So
Okay.
whether there's somebody in the building or not, I'm gonna be competing against just me, seeing how well I could do against myself. So very simple answer on that side. Like regardless of if he was there or not, I have to do better for me. But
Right.
then once you get past you, you're still competing against everyone else in the league. So the second you kind of get complacent with your job and not do as well, there's going to be someone else that they're looking to possibly replace you, and that's regardless of how well you're doing. Sometimes too, you might be a guy
Right.
that's consistent, but you're worth a lot of money, so they got to figure out someone that might be good and is a cheaper option. Like that's always it's the business of the NFL at certain points. So regardless of if Michael came in or not, I was going to still be on my P's and Q's with some of that stuff. But having him there was just again kind of like the physical competition sometimes that you need.
Right.
Like he had I mean, a lot of people were talking about he had a great camp too. Definitely put pressure on me. Like he had an incredible camp with us. I mean, I would have a good day and I would turn around, he'd be having just as good of a day. So it was definitely good to kind of have that physical competition in the building. But not to be arrogant, but just confident in myself. I know if I'm at the top of my game, I feel like I could be one of the best. So I'm not worried about kind of other people and just focused on me. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think the old motto that some of us have heard if you try to have a sport is it's more mental than it is physical. You're not trying to kill someone else. You're more killing yourself if you're not doing your job.
Yeah, I mean, kicking is more of a mental side than a true like physical side. I, I'm I'm attributing this back to when I played linebacker in high school, which is not the same as playing at the college or NFL level by any means. But the more energy and sometimes even like the more frustrated you can be, the more you can kind of inflict pain on someone. You can go faster, you can go, more aggressive, things like that. But that's not the same with kicking. So
Right.
comparing it more towards like a golfer, the more flustered they get, the more like the harder you try to swing, things like that doesn't always like equal a better outcome on the other side. So um, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to work so much on the physical side of a lot of my kicking stuff. The mental side's where I've really been able to make my bread and butter over the last couple of years, working with a sports psychologist and dialing things in like that. Like making my brain a lot more of a plus versus a minus for myself, and then letting the physical things kind of take over as they should. So.
I like that. I like that. Andrew, I'll let you ask a little bit.
Sure, yeah, I've got a few questions ready. Let me pull up to them. So, I mean, this off season, we've had a lot of new things come up, new ownership from the previous season, new coaches, and then from what we've heard, they're talking a lot about like changing the culture of the team. Are you seeing like the culture slowly start to change along with the personnel and player changes happening? And do you think you see like a much brighter future the next season or two coming up?
I think culture within an organization sometimes is a little bit like overused for both a success and a failure for an organization. Um, I know obviously some of the stuff with kind of the Dan Snyder era here, there's just a lot of negative cloud over the organization for a long time. So some of that stuff can creep in, whether it's in the front office, the coaching staff, the players, whatever it might be. We had obviously the turnover with Josh Harris and the guys within his conglomerate that have come into the organization and have really kind of made a direct effort to get to know us and talk to us and be as present as they can be. They came in at a weird time, I believe, throughout the season last year where it was pretty close to already, being into training camp and stuff like that when they finally purchased the team and were able to get around us. So I don't think that they were really able to inflict or put out everything that they wanted to for the season last year. So I definitely think this is truly their first opportunity to get their hands directly on the organization and make the changes that they see necessary, which obviously we've seen with them hiring Coach Quinn and the people and Adam Peters as well as a general manager. So they're definitely making changes as they see fit for the organization. But like I said, culture, I think it's thrown around a little bit too much to say, oh, like you watch the guys play, it's bad culture. Sometimes it's just whether it's bad schematics of the game, whether it's you know, someone being a better at like whether having bad schematics on the game or good schematics on the game and putting players in the right position to be successful and other coaches that might not, give as many good players the opportunity to be successful, things like that, that might cause issues within an organization. Sometimes it just comes from the exact players, like the personality of the players, whether you got a guy that is okay with putting their neck out there and holding guys accountable as well as they might hold themselves accountable. And then you see other times that guys might be a little bit more passive and allow like grown men to do whatever they kind of want and please. So there's definitely a balance within an organization of kind of having those situations. But as of right now, we're in this off season period, so you don't really get to see a lot of the changes within an organization until you're there and see how Coach Quinn commands a room and operates with practice and how the team meetings and stuff like that go. You don't really get to see, like, we haven't really made big, like, astounding changes within our organization. Like, we hired the coach, we hired the general manager, but there's not a lot of like personnel changes that you've seen as of recent that are going to really dictate whether. Obviously, Dan Quinn's the defensive guy, so it's not like he's like changing our entire roster to be defensively focused, or if there's an offensive minded coach, the same thing. Yeah, you just haven't seen that yet, so it's going to obviously be something that may progress down the line. But from like my perspective on the outside looking in, obviously I was in San Fran for a little bit. Got to meet Adam. Adam's a good dude. Our general manager last year, Martin Mayhew, which I think is still within the organization in some capacity, is a great guy as well. So it's like you're not really going to have a lot of bad guys that you meet in this profession. It's just whether or not the success follows some of their decisions and stuff like that. So and Dan's also had success in Atlanta. I know it kind of sucks. I was actually in Carolina. The game after they lost to us when I was with Coach Rule is when he got fired and next year went to Dallas and has shown that he can get that defense riled up and going. And so definitely excited for his opportunity to take the realm or the head of the organization again and kind of see how he does. But yeah, all the culture stuff that comes with it, I haven't really obviously been able to experience just because we're not in the facility right now. So
For sure. Yeah, that's great intel. I mean, us fans are excited about a lot of the coaching changes and excited about our position financially, draft wise, player wise, everything. And I'm sure you players absolutely are as well. And then I was just sort of curious, sort of more on the lighthearted side. Like, what are some of your favorite or like funniest memories of being like on the team, whether it's with like players, with coaches and games, just like smaller things that, people don't really hear about, but are sort of fun stories.
Trying to think. A lot of the stuff is kind of outside, like going out and eating with Tress and Cheese. Like Cheese is like a really funny dude. Tress is like an all-time guy. So having those two being teammates over the past like 2 years has been awesome. Some of the stories and Cheese is a goofy dude, so just some of the things that he does that isn't even really funny, but just makes you laugh. Like I said, some of the stories that Tress tells are like awesome. Like I feel like he should be a narrator or something like that, or just tell his experiences within the NFL. I mean, we got some cool stuff like some of the stuff that we had in the locker room over the past couple years. We have cornhole boards and mini basketball hoops and stuff like that. So just some of the games that some of the guys have been playing or playing cards and stuff like that, sitting and talking to some of the players has been cool. Our strength staff is a really good group of guys too. Our head strength coach, Chad Englehart's like a freaking one of the funniest dudes you ever meet. Like a Louisiana prize possession. I feel like he kind of has like a water boy, the guy that just blabbers nothing, just like blah, 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 blah. That dude. He kind of has a little bit of that vibe to him, so it's just funny to kind of mess with him. But it's probably so the nutritionist that we had that he was our RD and assistant strength coach Jake Senkel. He actually just went to Florida this offseason, which will be definitely missed within the team as just like a brother to a lot of the players. But he would he does like a reading every Friday, which a lot of the stuff I'll keep private within that, but just the readings that he does is
probably a good
hilarious.
idea.
So
yeah,
yeah, he does like he'll get us all hyped up for like our arm day, and he'll like do a reading about the other team, and it's pretty funny. So
that's awesome.
that's probably our constant funniest thing that we have on the team for sure.
That's great. Yeah, just having fun with the dudes. And then
yeah.
One more question. Well, it's not actually really a question, but I've been keeping up to date with your sort of gym grind via Instagram. And I think we might need to have like an arm wrestle or something just to test out and see who's stronger. I feel like I might be like starting to approach your level a little bit. Getting there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an arm wrestling specialist, so you might be able to get me there, but hopefully the stuff that I've been doing in the weight room is translating so that I can beat you. So if not, then I'll start changing. I'll start changing up my workouts and change them from working on kicking a football to just making sure I can beat you in an arm wrestling competition. So
yeah, that's a great idea. It's like just training for one fight. It's like the boxing match.
Yeah.
We could totally do that.
I'll throw kicking out the window completely and just start training for arm wrestling. So don't worry about it. Yeah.
Great idea. Would 100% support that.
All right.
That's
so what we're saying is Andrew's coming to training camp in August, and we'll make sure he's there.
Give me 6 months to get ready. My arms will be as big as tree trunks. I'll be ready.
Considering the fact that you can wear a jersey over a hoodie means that I think I might be able to get you on the arm gain right now.
You might win arms now, but yeah. Maybe 6 months.
Maybe they're longer than mine, and they're probably longer than mine. I have like sausage arms, so you might be able to like out leverage me somehow.
A length
contest. We'll see. yeah, for sure. My wingspan is that of like a dodo bird. It's extinct. Yeah.
Oh man.
Alrighty, so
yeah, I was in rookie minicamp with the New York Giants in 2019, and Eli Manning was walking around the field warming up. He was like doing his arm throwing stuff, and I had just gotten signed from that minicamp. Was there for like 2 days before they cut me with numbers, and he was walking around the field doing his arm warm up, and I kind of started mimicking him a little bit. And he goes, "Hey, you're the kicker, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." "Joey?" I was like, "Yeah, nice to meet you, Eli." He was like, "Yeah, you're the smallest hands on the team." I was just like, "How do you know that?" And he goes, "Yeah, I look at the sheet and kind of go through all like the new guys' statistics and stuff, and notice that you have like the smallest hands on the team." And I looked down and was like, "Well, yeah, I'm the kicker. It's probably a good thing that my hands are the smallest and compared to someone else." But I was like, "Yeah, dude, like probably, definitely." I don't know why you like how that stuck out to him so well, but it was just always something funny. I thought I was like, yeah, the second string kicker that you guys had signed, because that was when they had Alter Gross also just came off his Pro Bowl year, and I was like, I don't usually care about my hand size until Eli starts calling me out for it. Then I'm trying to do like the hand stretching stuff.
And
So,
that's
yeah.
Eli Manning calling you out on it too. That's pretty funny. That's
Yeah.
random. That's great. Love it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's too Eli Manning of all people, too.
I heard he's a jokester. Some of the stories from up there, I heard he's kind of like a prankster. Like he's a funny dude, obviously with him and his brother Peyton doing the pot or the
Manny cast.
Sunday
Manicast.
or Monday football. Yeah, the Manning cast is hilarious. I'm just watching them
It's
during
fun.
like the Pro Bowl and stuff like that. The way that they banter with each other is hilarious. But I heard he's got some good like pranks that he would pull on some of the guys within the locker room. So
Hey. All right, Chris. What you got?
I gotta ask this. I gotta know, like, what's it like, at the, like, isn't it getting near the end of, like, let's say the first half, or like near the end of the game, and let's say the team is, driving down the field, obviously, like, during the game, the cameras, will show, like, um like, you practicing kicking the ball into the net. Like, what are you thinking in that situation? Are you thinking, like, man, I really hope they go down here, and try to give me a shot? Or are you thinking, like, hey, like, I just want to go out here, and, try to kick an extra point, if they score a touchdown?
to be honest with you, like the first thing that usually pops in my head during situations like that, obviously like with our team up and down the field, like I always go through my same regimen. So like once we get near the 50, I start hitting my like warm up taps into the net, and then once we start getting into field goal range, second and third down, I'll start kind of hitting a ball here or there, just getting the contact and stuff like that. Start looking over my sets, make sure I'm ready to go. But like in situations like that, like if it's about to go into half and they're trying to set my distance and all that stuff, and whatever Fox reporter, NBC, CBS, ABC, whatever the channel that we're on, like some of them get so freaking close to my net that like I almost kick them. So like the first like 10, 15 seconds of me actually like prepping for that stuff is making sure that they're like far enough away from me that I don't smoke them with a football. Um, and then yeah, I mean obviously I'm locked into the actual situation at hand. But yeah, I have a not a ritual by any means, but just a kind of a regimen of when to start hitting, when to start kind of getting like into my like normal cadence of when we start marching the ball down the field. And essentially I am prepared for whatever comes. The same preparation that I will be on a PAT is going to be the same preparation that I would go through if it's a 55-yard game-winning field goal. It's the exact same approach, exact same kind of mindset. Um, when we start getting closer to like a 20, 30-yard field goal ish, like we really start getting in that red zone, and it's a lot more of a shorter kick. Not that I kick less, but I'm already kind of down near the opposite side so that I'm closer, so I don't have to run freaking 70 yards down the field to go kick a football. I'm a lot closer to the offense of where they're at in scoring position. When we're closer to the 50-ish, or like a longer field goal, I'm usually near our special teams coordinator, and obviously Ron was the head coach last year, so I'd be near Ron. And I'm essentially not chirping disrespectfully, but I'm kind of just saying like, hey, like we're good, like we're at our distance, like don't, I'm saying like obviously be conservative on our play calling, but like we're good from this distance. If it's a 57-yarder, it's not like I don't want him scouring around for me, checking to see if I'm ready to go. Like I'm back behind them, so that when they give me the A-OK to run out there for the field goal, that I'm trotting on the field. Like a perspective for me that I try to take onto it is like I want to give my coaches and teammates like the confidence that when I go out there, I'm going to make a kick, and that one comes from making it when I have the opportunities to. So don't miss when I go out there. But the body language thing is big for me too. So if I'm standing on the sideline and I'm like checking with him to see if he wants to do it, then that usually kind of gives him the opportunity to make that decision. If I give him a lot more of like a confident look of like, hey, let's go, it's usually something that I can kind of persuade them into letting me kick it. And then, like I said, I got to go out and execute and essentially show them that what like the confidence they have in me was validated. So yeah.
And then, what are the like post game like vibes like after like the team gets a win? You know, like whether it was the when y'all snapped the Ravens preseason win streak, or when you guys went up to Philly in 2022 on Monday Night Football and beat them like when they were 8-0. Like, what were the post game vibes like? You know.
Throw some music on the speaker, get the thing bumping in there. Guys are elated. Um, I mean, dude, honestly, whether you're 4-13 or you're
Mm-hmm.
13-4, like your obviously your record's going to dictate how the vibe is throughout the week and stuff like that. But a win in the NFL is a win. They don't come easy and they don't come often sometimes, and so you got to kind of celebrate every single win. And I think a lot of guys around the league start to understand that. Like you see some of the freshmen, or not the freshmen, the rookie guys coming in from some of these like top universities where they win freaking every week. Like you come from Georgia and you lose 2 games in your entire college career. It's like, wow, all right, like you're used to winning, and they get to an NFL organization and like they win a game, and you start seeing guys like celebrating like they do, and some of them are almost kind of like taken back, like, why are you guys so happy? Winning is like, something that should come every week, and obviously that's what we're striving for. But like, there's dudes on every team. Like every team is essentially really good and has an opportunity to beat you every single week. And if you don't come and play, you're going to lose essentially. And so for guys to get the satisfaction of a win, um, I think a lot of coaches around the league know, like, hey, let's let these guys like kind of have a moment and celebrate, even though we didn't win the Super Bowl, obviously. Um, or it's not like a clinching game here, clinching game there, but that's also why those celebrations are a lot bigger than a normal win. They have the confetti going down the Super Bowl. Guys are up till 3 a.m. celebrating those wins, because those are the next level, next pedestal of actual success in this league, and that's the ultimate goal for all of us. So, but yeah, every week that we get to win, whether even to like preseason is nothing to laugh about either. I mean, guys are going out there and sacrificing their body to some of the guys that are 6-7 year vets that have gotten the contract and are getting paid and taken care of and things like that. They might not be playing, but the guys that are suiting up on those games are fighting for food on the table for their family, or taking care of themselves, and they're trying to financially make it in the league as well and keep their career going. So those wins also feel just as good. Obviously, they don't count essentially for anything in the grand scheme of things, but they're still. I mean, you're going out there and you're competing. Most of us are in the NFL to go out there and compete and win. So
Yeah. And then one last question: what was it like in 2021 when you got brought in by Washington and head coach Ron Rivera being here? And what was that just like for you?
yeah, I mean, like I said, Ron, it has a big place in my heart within the NFL and everything that he's done for me in my career. I got a lot of like respect and love for him as a coach, and with everything that's obviously happened here, I hope that he's able to do something in some capacity within the NFL. He's a great guy, a great leader of men. He's shown that here and as well as in Carolina. So I definitely hope that he has another opportunity in some capacity, obviously. Um, but in 2021, yeah, it was preseason was tough. I had an okay year two of my career. There's some stuff that I struggled with, and some things that were outside of my control that I was trying to still deal with and find success in. And didn't have a great preseason, had a great camp, but just didn't have a great preseason, and lost the trust of Coach Rule and the organization of kicking. So they let me go, and I bounced around, and it was a good opportunity for me in my career to kind of hone in on my craft, not focus on anything outside of myself, but just get better at kicking and become a better professional in a bunch of different capacities. So the opportunities I had in Houston, being with some guys like John Weeks and Cam Johnston, who are great vets as well, learned just professionalism from some of those guys, and then popping out to San Fran, and the coaching staff out there was great. Good to learn from Mitch Wisnowski and Tabor. Pep I was actually with in rookie minicamp, training camp in New York, so I already previously met him, but just to be around some of those guys and continue to find myself within that organization as well. And then came out here and had an opportunity in Washington and tried to take full advantage of that. Was definitely, like I said, thankful that coach brought me in and was able to vouch for me to get the workout. And then, I mean, I put myself out there and did really, really well during the workout. So definitely validated him on the backside of that. And it was cool, obviously, to be back home or near my hometown. My wife's family grew up Washington fans. And so to be able to kind of play for the hometown team was definitely really cool for me. But it was definitely a challenging year for me, moving around to place. I was away from my fiance then, but wife now, for 3-4 months. He was down still in Charlotte, and I was in Houston, San Fran, and Washington all by myself. So definitely was a year to kind of find myself within the league and continue to build confidence. But I also think it showed some of my resilience in a way, and kind of put myself kind of back on the radar of being someone that can have success within the league, just as long as they kind of handle themselves. And been trying to show that every year past that. So definitely thankful, like I said, for the opportunity that coach gave me, and he's someone that's vouched for me multiple times. So definitely I have a lot of respect for him for what he's done for me in my career. So
Nice.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I want to go back to your college days, because I did a little bit of scouting, a little bit of research beforehand, so I wasn't talking out of my rear end like I do at times. But I saw that you did a few seasons at Virginia Tech, and that as a walk-on versus a scholarship at James Madison. What was that like? And what went into your decision of declining a scholarship at James Madison, deciding to go to the Hokies?
yeah, so honestly, I wanted to play, like, at the time JMU wasn't where they're at right now. They're still,
Right.
I think, D1 AA, still an FCS school. I like the campus. We came to JMU a couple years in a row when I was coming out of high school for like college camps. We'd do like a week football camp here with our high school team. So I definitely like JMU. Wasn't anything like about the university as a whole, but Coach Foster was my recruiting coordinator, and someone that I still have a very good relationship to this day with. He's like a very important coach in my life. Give me, like I said, an opportunity down there. But I went down there in 2013 summer, and I had a camp down there, and I did really, really well at the camp. And at the time, they'd already offered a guy, Michael Santeria, out of Georgia, from Georgia, who Sam's a good dude, really, really good dude. But they essentially didn't have a scholarship for me down there after my camp, and coach was just telling me like, hey, like, you come compete, like, you have an opportunity to still win a job down here. Like, we definitely think that you'd be a great competition. So there's part of me that wanted to go compete with that. I wanted to play a little bit bigger football than what JMU had to essentially offer at that time. Because that there was there, but there was also like Richmond. Coach Trot was my recruiting coordinator there, and I was actually kind of set on Richmond as well. Just with the opportunity that I might be able to play linebacker in some capacity at both of those places. And that was also something that was a little bit of a driving factor down at Tech, where my thought process was, if I don't get any play time as a kicker, I can maybe stay on and play linebacker. Like, not start by any means. Like, I would work my butt off to try to get to that position, but
Right.
obviously, like, skill was gonna beat your heart no matter what, no matter how hard you try at some aspects. Like Andrew Tupuaka could sleepwalk through what I could probably do at my full speed. So, but I wanted to kind of be within the hip of Coach Foster, and essentially, if I didn't kick, I could learn under one of the best defensive minds within college football and within football, and maybe graduate, become a GA, a grad assistant, learn under him, and then possibly get into a career of coaching or whatever that might take me to. So there was a little bit further thought process with that. And then my mom also told me when I was looking at schools, like go somewhere where if football stopped today, you would actually enjoy being at the school. And I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Virginia Tech, but there's you're not beating Blacksburg. So
Yep.
those were more of my deciding factors to go down there. And I think when all said and done, I probably made a right decision somewhere. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever come down here? Because I live down here in Norfolk. Did you ever come here to an ODU and tour the campus and meet that coach? No.
nah, I think I think ODU at the time too was FCS.
Yeah, we were.
And to be honest with you, y'all guys is homecomings and stuff like that scared me a little bit. I feel like every single
Fair.
year someone gets shot. So
Yeah.
I usually tend to stay away from dangerous situations, but I feel like they just found themselves down in at ODU. Plus, like I'm not really like a beach guy. I'm definitely more of a mountain man for sure. So Blacksburg was a little bit more my vibe than going to Knoxville.
Fair. He has good points. He has very valid points.
I think there was like a running tally of like 4 years in a row where there was like someone getting shot at every homecoming game at ODU. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, no
John,
shot.
you haven't told me about this. I haven't heard anything.
That was before my time. That was before my time here.
You want me to go to ODU?
I do want you to come because we can record together.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
that'd be awesome.
there might be a better situation than there is now over there.
That's good.
But and I mean a little bit of arrogance out of me too coming out of high school. Like I was a pretty good kicker. Like I wasn't outstanding. Like I didn't go to these camps and like blow everyone out because honestly I didn't go to a lot of the recruiting camps. I thought a lot of them were kind of money schemes. I had a really good kicking coach that I would work with up here in Northern Virginia named Paul Woodside, who I credit with a lot of my success starting out, helping me kind of build the foundation of where I am right now. And a guy like him, like if I would have just went to these camps and tried to get recruited that way, I wouldn't have built the foundation that I have now to overcome some of the adversities that I've had in my career. So definitely would have rather kind of invest my time in someone like that than going and getting recruited in different ways. But um like I started with that comment was like a place like ODU at the time, like I was kind of surprised that they just didn't offer me, like
All right.
I went to South Carolina, I went to Rutgers, I went to JMU, I went to Virginia Tech for some of these kind of recruiting camps, and a lot I did well at most of them. I mean, Rutgers almost offered me a punting, which I thought was hilarious. I freaking hated punting. And I did really, really well in their field goal competition. I thought they'd offer me with that, and I had a surprising day punting, and they tried to offer me as a punter, and I was like, "You guys have lost your mind. Like I don't really want to punt." And so didn't really get an opportunity up there. I still like talk to my dad. I don't know why we went up to that camp, but he was yeah. Some of the camps I just let my dad kind of find a map and pick out where we wanted to go. But another coach that I've worked with in my career, his name's Dan Orner, who's down in Charlotte. Still work with him a lot to this day, and he was running the South Carolina camp, which is one of the reasons why I went down there. And I had a really good camp. Just didn't finish up the competition very well, and they didn't offer me down there too. So everywhere was kind of a walk-on spot. But if I would have went to Corn Blue or one-on-one or Cole's kicking a bunch and try to get my stats higher so that they'd rank me higher, and I could have probably figured out a way to get a scholarship based off of those ranking systems. But yeah, I was more shocked that some of those like D1 AA schools didn't pop out and just say like, hey, like here's a scholarship. So
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, ODU, it's got better. This area still is. I live on Killam Avenue, so the first four letters in that street say it all. So
Nice.
Andrew, yeah, Andrew, if you do come down, just be careful.
Yeah, you probably should have told me this before I started my college search.
I want to say the experience.
Well, if you haven't been persuaded yet, Andrew, you can go ahead and apply for tech.
I was about to say.
Hokies are-
Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
They've got
there's
they've
only
got
one.
a crazy campus, right? I've seen it before. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm gonna say crazy has a different connotations in certain aspects. So hopefully you're saying crazy is good. But yeah, it's got a beautiful
In
campus.
a good way. In a good way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful campus,
Yep.
great food, great people, great atmosphere.
Yep. I've heard great things about it.
Yeah, can't beat Saturday at Lane Stadium. So
Absolutely.
No, I'm with them on that one. You just can't beat it. You just can't beat it.
Yeah.
It
very, very underrated. If you're from Virginia, you know about it. Everyone else around the country tries to argue that, Knoxville, go to out Georgia for a game, go to Death Valley and LSU or Death Valley and Clemson, whatever. And obviously they have good atmospheres, but if Virginia Tech is back in its prominence and they're doing well and they have the opportunity to host a big game, you're not beating Enter Sandman on like a Thursday night football game or a Saturday night football game in Blacksburg for sure.
so something about Enter Sandman in that arena just sets off like a different tone.
Yeah, when we played the Ohio State in 2015, after we beat them in 2014 at their place, they came for the first game, opening game in Blacksburg, and we like popped up on the Richter scale for an earthquake with how loud that stadium was. So, yeah,
I believe it.
it's pretty sick.
I believe it. Do you still go to any of the VTech games, or do you kind of more just?
I did year 1 and year 2, but I haven't been back. We've had bye weeks in December these last 2 years, which have sucked. Both for the NFL aspect because it's week like 12 and we finally get
Yeah.
a bye week, or week 13 and we get a bye week. They've been super late for us. Honestly, I think it's even worse than that. I think we had week 14.
14.
Yeah, 14 the last 2 years. So we played 14 straight games and then we finally get a break and then we have like a 3-game stretch to end it. It's been tough. Been long NFL seasons in the last couple of years, but then yeah, I'm kind of pissed because I don't get to go back to Blacksburg and watch them play. Last year the Thursday night game against Chicago, I think they played at ODU that game.
I don't think it was that. Let me look up because I was at the ODU VTech watch party here. And as soon as all of us heard Enter Sandman, we were like, yeah, just wrap things up. It's time to go home. I was not having it.
Actually no, 2023 or no, sorry, 2022. Not last season, but the year before they played Thursday night at ODU because I remember Taylor Heineke went.
Yeah, but I was 22. That was September 2nd. I was at that game. That was my first ever ODU football game. That's not.
But 2023, I'm
gotta-
trying to think where they played. I mean, they played maybe Florida State. There's something that they played weird on Thursday.
I can look it up.
I don't remember. Maybe no. Was it Boston College? Maybe.
Well,
I
let's
thought
see.
it was Miami.
I know it was away for sure. I thought it might have been at Boston College last year that they played Thursday night.
Oh, let me look. Virginia Tech.
Because I think that's the game that Grant got hurt. And they put Kyron in.
Oh, who was calling me?
Or
I
Kyron.
hate these spam calls. I keep getting spam calls.
You post about that on your story.
I did in like a 24-hour
the-
span. I got like eight spam calls.
The police chief asking you to donate to the.
Yep, I got that. They're all from California. They're all from like Redwood, California. I'm like, who are you? Let's see. Last year you guys played Thursday, the 26th of October versus Syracuse, and you guys destroyed them.
Syracuse, that's what it was.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was week 8 for college football. You guys won 38-10, and then 22. You guys played West Virginia and NC State on a Thursday. and lost both.
No, sorry. Yeah, that I messed up in the way I said that. So we played Thursday night against Chicago last year.
Yep.
With Washington, and
Week
then
5.
that Saturday I would have been able to go to the Saturday game.
Mhm.
So I think we played at Boston College, maybe.
Let's see for
Something like that.
2023
Maybe at
because that was week 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. September 30th was versus Pittsburgh, and then this October 7th was at FSU.
that's okay. So it was at Florida State. Yeah, because I
Florida State.
remember I was talking to Martin Mayhew about it, and he was happy about his Florida State boys. So
Oh,
we got torched down there for sure.
FSU was just a dominant team until like the last 3 games.
Quarterback gets hurt, probably gonna happen.
Yeah. Well,
Especially when
Jordan.
you're not in Alabama or Georgia or Texas or something like that, where you have 14 starting quarterbacks in your roster. You have one guy that's elite, and everyone else behind him is just not that level.
Because it went Jordan, and then because my mom's an FSU fan, because it went Travis, then it went Tate, and then their third string who played in the bowl game.
Yeah, was it Rodemaker? Was number
Rodemaker,
2,
yeah.
and then 3. Yeah, I think was like that kid probably walked in that year thinking like I'm not going to play at all. And he's ended up starting the bowl game against Georgia and get torched like 70-0. That was great.
It was rough. I was in Florida because my parents lived in Florida for the Navy, and she's an FAC fan. I'm a Florida fan, so I loved rubbing her face. But every time Jordan would score a touchdown, I'd be like, "Hey, mom, have you checked the score lately? It's 70-3."
That was essentially a preseason game 3 in the NFL for Florida State against the Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, that was rough. I want to get 2 more questions, then I'll let you go because you've been nothing but we're just blessed to have you on. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
You guys are good, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So you've been here for Washington football team, so that was just the straight burgundy and the yellow face mask, and obviously with the Commanders, the burgundy, you've got the whites and you got the blacks. Out of all the jerseys you have, at least from Washington, what's been your favorite one, like design wise, and to wear?
Black for sure. The battle black is sick. The only thing I don't like about the battle black is the W on the forehead. I wish they'd change the location of that. Every single time I see it, I think of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I either think of Wumbo or I think of when when SpongeBob goes over to his grandma's house to get cookies, and they all make fun of him for liking grandma's cookies and kisses and stuff. And she goes to kiss him on the forehead again, and she like puts the lipstick on the thing. That's all I can think of. So I wish they'd change where the W is, or just make it bigger, almost like the like Michigan Wolverines W, something like that. But the battle black is sick. Like we look sick on that for sure. It'll probably go black, white, burgundy for me. If I had to pick the colors. I miss the old regime logos and things like that. And
is it weird? Is it? I know what you're talking about. Is it with the yellow stripe and then the 2 white stripes on the side of it, like when the with the Redskins helmet?
Are you talking about like the old uniforms that I like, or are you talking about the things I don't like?
The old uniforms that you like.
I just like the old helmet with the white stripe or the yellow down the middle and the white stripes on the side, I think are always classics. All the teams that have kind of those looking ish helmets always just look sleek. Obviously the old chief on the helmet was also something that was iconic, I feel like, for the logo.
It was.
But just even like the color schemes on like the pants, like we just wear like our burgundy and white have like no stripe on the side. They're just straight up like white or burgundy.
Yeah.
I like the old pants had the the burgundy down the stripe and then the white on the outside as well. So it kind of matched the top. And then the sleeves had like the yellow and white on the sleeves as well. So
those are great.
Yeah.
Those
I mean,
those are the
definitely
good ones.
Our blacks now though are some of the best in the NFL, in my opinion.
What, the whites?
Yeah, they are.
No, our current
No, the
blacks.
blacks is it.
Oh, okay, okay, good, good, good.
Yeah, not the whites, not the whites.
They got some texture in the pants, like the stripe has some like camo-ish tech like graphic in it.
Mhm.
And there's some cool textures in the top of it too. They're definitely really cool.
I think when I originally saw the white, I was like, how do I get behind this? Because everyone was calling it like a discount clearance out Cardinals jersey. I was saying it was like an Ohio State. I was like, I don't know if I love this or not.
They actually had the designer come in and talk to the team and kind of tell us about the reasoning behind
Mhm.
certain things of the jerseys. And some of like the cool little nuances are definitely things that you should look at, like on the
Yeah.
inside of the neck on the back. There's the 3 stars that
Yep.
resemble the 3 stars in the DC flag, and the actually the patterning within the numbers, like the cross sectioning, is essentially for the way that DC's road system is laid out. So like DC is like cross, like they're supposed to be like the 90 degrees, like squares and stuff like that. That's essentially what the logo is supposed to represent or the texture within the numbers is supposed to represent.
Hmm.
So some of that stuff is super cool. I just sometimes I feel like those the designing of those things you should almost like leave up to like a 14-year-old kid that play like Madden too much. You should just let them kind of like go
Mhm.
and have their like field day with the jerseys and stuff and just see what they can create. And then you should be like, yeah, that's kind of cool.
I've done that.
So,
I've done that. I don't even play
That's
Madden.
yeah.
I don't even play Madden. Like I'm a graphic artist here at ODU, so that's my whole thing. Is just like making concept jerseys and logos. And I was like, I want to redesign these, and I was like, why not?
Yeah, I think in high school our coach gave us free reign of doing our homecoming jerseys. And I remember sitting up till like 2 a.m. working on like a camo version of ours, and they were sick. They were so sick. We didn't go with them. I was kind of upset about it because they were too expensive for the team. We didn't sell enough of those little discount gift cards to all the
Wow.
people around our area, so we didn't get to spend the extra money on that. We just got like a Under Armour blank orange jerseys. They sucked. Our North Stafford is like we're like a navy blue and orange, so Broncos colors essentially. But the old color system of it was like a light blue, like almost like a Carolina blue.
Mhm.
So just imagine like a camo, a white camo uniform that
Mhm.
had like dark blue, light blue, and orange like camo with the white. It was sick.
Oh yeah.
It was sick, but it was also like $600 per jersey, and our coaches were like, "We only have $600 in our whole budget, so no shot we're doing that." So
Yeah,
That's
Stafford.
fair.
Yeah, I believe like South Stafford's. Our colors are like blue and gold, so we look like the Rams in a way. And I'm just like, okay, we're rocking with these. Yay.
yeah, y'all suck. I think you
Yeah, I
guys won
know.
the
Thank
bell
you.
last week. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah, I gotta get that in there. Y'all still suck. I haven't played
The
high school football
rivalry's
in years,
coming
but
back.
yeah,
Hey, I'll be
it's
sure.
freaking.
I'll be sure to tell my strength and body teacher that coach but Coach Balinsky, I'll be sure to tell her that tomorrow when I have her for
Yeah.
strength and body.
I'm about to say y'all are trash. Yeah, we used to beat y'all
Oh,
like 49-0. I don't think y'all scored like 2 touchdowns on us the entire outside of my freshman year when we I don't know. I didn't understand how we lost to you my freshman year, but my sophomore, junior, senior year wasn't even close. We used to. I had 2 touchdowns against you guys my senior year, and I didn't even play running back. So that's how bad y'all suck.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns
Uh,
against Stafford. Jeez, man. God.
Is it still that way?
I think they beat us. North Stafford's not very good at football anymore. We're not the powerhouse that we used to be for like a 6,
Yeah,
7 year span. But
Andrew, they
now,
kind of get butts handed to,
Yeah, they beat us last year. They got the belt for the first time. They got the belt back for the first time since my freshman year of high school. So that was
Yeah.
20,
Wow.
That'd be like
2010,
2000
2011.
and I thought it was like 2009 maybe. I don't know.
That was my brother's junior year. We lost at your house.
Yeah.
That was such a bad game. Yeah, and then from that point on, like I said, I think you guys scored like one touchdown over like 7 years against us. So
That's crazy.
Uh,
That's an insane stat.
That's all right, Chris. So
That's
what
Stafford for you.
all right, Chris, what he's
I
saying
think
is you better go try out.
the
Bro,
powerhouse now, I think, is Mountain View. So we gotta
yeah,
fix
it
that.
is. The powerhouse is Mountain View now. Stafford's still at like the bottom of the barrel a little. Although we had like 2 games, I think, like taken from us this year, from what I've been told. Obviously, the first game we would have played against James Madison, but that got taken due to some stuff that had happened.
What a
And
smoke
there
to
was
all.
James Madison,
yeah,
James
James Madison.
Madison High School. Y'all would have
Yeah.
gotten killed. Y'all would have gotten mercy ruled in the first quarter.
What, this year?
James Madison,
Probably.
didn't they win the state championship this year? I think
I
James won
don't
the state
know
championship, or at
if
least they were in the state semis. I knew that.
I don't know if they did, but we had that game taken away, and then I think we played another team, and they kind of got like an extra down after they came up short on like a 4th down. It was kind of like
New
when
football rules.
yeah, it was kind of like when the Bucks had came in here all those years ago and we got an extra down, and we still lost the game because of it. But I believe that's what happened, and then maybe there was one more. I could be wrong, but yeah, Stafford has not been very hot at football. I always say we're literally the Redskins of football. I literally,
Come on, man.
dude.
I wouldn't go
It,
that far. Y'all suck. Y'all suck. I wouldn't
we
say y'all the
do.
Redskins in football. Y'all are pretty bad.
Yeah,
That's
I'm sorry to all the people at Stafford High School, but if you guys are watching this, I'm not trying to beat up on you guys, but if it's not cheerleading, y'all don't show up.
all right, Chris. What he's saying is you need to get in the gym and you need to get gooder, bud.
let's see. I can't try out because I'm a senior this year.
Oh,
Uh,
excuses,
Tough.
excuses.
honestly, though, if we're being real, like low key, I would have tried out, but the baseball coach, when I tried out for baseball in 9th grade, he kind of tore my confidence. So I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna try out for any school sports anymore because he was like, you ain't got the heart to play this game. I was like, okay,
It's tough.
That's
yeah, it
that's
is.
when you tell him to shut the fuck up and let me get to work. What you gotta do? Come on now.
Yeah.
This is what you gotta do. JMU middle school football went to the Final Four in the football championship, then lost 55-14 to Freedom.
Middle school football?
Middle school football.
You mean high school football?
Or high school, thank you. I don't know why I said middle
Okay.
school. Yeah, high
I'm
school.
gonna say
We
you
don't
doubled
have
down
middle
on
school
it too right there. I'm gonna say I didn't know that they had state championships in middle school, but no, if it was Freedom, Freedom was a powerhouse too. But James Madison is usually top 4 in their division. It was Highland
Mhm.
Springs for a little bit down to Richmond. I think they still might be torching people. I don't know if they're D6 or D5.
Are you gonna come
all
to
the
a?
all the some.
My bad.
No, you're good. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say, are you gonna come to a Stafford versus North Stafford game next year, man? You got to for at least one game.
Oh man, if that's at home, I might. My brother
That's fair.
has a stadium named after him at North, so
There's that rivalry.
I'll come to the home field, but I'm not going to South Stafford. I don't even know where your guys' school's at anymore. You guys move locations. So last time I heard of Stafford High School, you guys had like trailers in your guys' side yard teaching kids. So I don't know what
We
you guys are
probably
doing now.
did. I don't even know, man.
You guys upgraded in the school but downgraded in size. So your school got smaller, your school got newer, but
Yes.
I don't even know where your guys' new high school's at. I'd probably end up showing up at the old high school on accident. Wouldn't even know where you guys
It's
are playing.
it's actually literally pretty much in the same location. Where there's like a extra like field now for I think like like lacrosse or something. Like once you come into like what the hell is that road called right there?
Chris,
It's
don't you
like
go to that school?
yeah, I know. But
He's
yeah,
on
they
autopilot when he goes into school every day. He doesn't
Yeah.
even know the
yeah
road. I'd be the same in high school. I was the same way. I knew that I lived on my street, but I
yeah
knew the two streets that I needed to get on, and I knew Mine
yeah
Road and Stafford. But outside of that, I didn't. If you told
Yeah.
me you lived off of some school, like I didn't know where Mountain View Road was for the longest time till I grew up. Till I turned like 22. I didn't know where Mountain View, Sheldon Shop, didn't know that for a while. Garrisonville, I just knew it was 610. Didn't know it was Garrisonville for a while. So yeah, you're good.
Chris still thinking like, where is that road? Where is this road? He's
It-
contemplating.
I'm trying to figure it
Oh yeah,
out
he's
because
still in deep thought right now. I don't even if you said the road, I wouldn't know it. Even if you said it, I wouldn't know it. You can just say that road, and I'd probably be like, yeah, that one. The only road I remember from going into Stafford is that awkward. You get off the light at was that Route 1, and then you take that awkward
Centerport
like
Parkway.
turn. Is that what it is? Is that the
Yeah,
awkward turn
you
left
take
or right where you go backwards technically? Like it's like a 180-degree turn around that corner.
yeah
Yeah, just take that
yeah
around.
I
Gotcha.
yeah.
Me and John, like, what are they talking about?
What is this road? Wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm about to say where you guys are you guys from? Where you guys from?
I'm out in Seattle area, so
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Seattle.
Yeah,
Wow. All right.
repping
What
across the
part of
country.
Seattle?
We're on like an island across the way. You take like a ferry to it's called Bainbridge Island.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
30-minute ferry ride to Seattle.
Yeah, I think one of my best friends just moved out to that same area.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's a cool
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, one of my boy Justin just moved out there. He ferried in for the game when we played out in Seattle last year. So
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, Andrew was at that
Jonathan, where
Seattle
you
game
from?
too.
Yeah.
I was there.
I'm a lot. Before I get like we call Andrew our West Coast operative because we stream both sides.
Nice.
Technically I'm from
Cool.
Florida. Technically I'm from Jacksonville, Florida,
Okay.
but I live the most here in the Norfolk, Chesapeake, Virginia area.
What high school did you go to?
Indian River. I was a river rat.
Ooh,
Yep.
Devin? Hunter? You and Devin Hunter classmates? No?
Oh, I have to go back in the yearbook. I
You
might
gotta
have.
know.
I would have to go back in
You
the
gotta know
yearbook.
Devin. Devin was a 5-star recruit that went to Virginia Tech. Like he was a freak. He's back in the area training guys. You had him and you had
Yep.
Devontae Beckett came from Indian River too.
Yep.
Beckett, I think, still
Make-
playing XFL, USFL. Beckett was a baller. He was with the Lions for a little bit too. Indian River. Do I? I think I know one of the coach. One of my friends, I think, was a coach there like 2 years ago. I
Mhm.
think he's at forgot what school he's at now.
We
And
we
then my friend that went from actually no, my friend Justin literally was a coach at Indian River, I think, before he left for Seattle. So he was down in that area too. Yeah, his wife was at the naval base down there, so you're probably near the naval base, I'm guessing, if you're from Norfolk.
yeah, I'm on a bad day, I'm 15-minute driving to base.
Okay. Yeah, we played my junior year we played Phoebus. No, sorry, my sophomore year we played Phoebus, and my junior year we played Lake Taylor. So
hmm
I hate the 7-5. I hate the 757.
The 757 is an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste for people.
You guys aren't even the 757 anymore. You guys are like what was it, the 843 or something like that?
Right now we're still 757. We added one more area code. But right now, it's still the 757 for at least Norfolk, Beach, and Chesapeake.
That's tough for anyone that changed their area code. I
Yeah.
would 757 is an elite area code for sure.
It's something different.
Yeah.
It's
75 water definitely hits different in Virginia.
it really do. It is different. I'm gonna ask one more and then we'll wrap things up. Again, I can't thank you enough for coming on, lending us your time.
Yeah, no problem, guys.
Regardless, I want to get this two questions. I changed my mind. Two questions.
Yeah,
What is your like Mount Rushmore for special teamers, so like kickers, punters, and long snappers? What would be like your Mount Rushmore? If you can,
let me try to break it up into three because I don't
Okay.
think it would do it justice if I like don't give love to some long snappers as well. Like me personally, as of now, like I have a lot of love and admiration for a guy like JJ Jansen in Carolina. I think he's in year like 14, 15 now. He's one of the best pros. That's great snapper. John Weeks out of Sanford or out of Houston. Um, you could say Zach Diossi for the New York Giants. Not the greatest snapper of the football, and he would be one of the first to tell you that. But he was a linebacker that snapped, and so he was like elite in coverage. Um, and then you'd probably have to say someone like Nick Moore, or not Nick Moore, Morgan Cox, who's the old Nick Moore. Nick Moore is in Baltimore now. He just tore his Achilles, but Morgan Cox, snapper for Tennessee now, was in Baltimore for years, but Morgan is known around the league as one of the better, like best snappers. Would be guys that I can't say like Mount Rushmore because I also don't know like snappers from early 2000s and stuff
Right.
like that. But I just know that those guys are names that you'll hear talked about a lot as like very respected guys around the league and have been great professionals. I think, like I said, Weeks is in probably year 15, 16. JJ's in year 15, 16. Morgan, I think, is in year like 12. I think the Aussie snapped for like 12 to 13 years and like led snappers and tackles like every single year. So snapper, Mount Rushmore, boom. Punters, um, Shane Leckler, has got to be in there. If you probably talk to any punter, they put him up there as being one of the first to be like one of the best punters in the league, like notarized as one of the better punters in the league. I think you got to put Pat obviously in there, McAfee, not only for his punting but what he's done post football.
Yep.
But for the time that he was in, he was very dominant. I'm going to be biased and say, but Tress is not just a fan favorite because he's a cool dude, but he is I don't think he gets the credit he actually deserves just with how good he has to be punting in our stadium and punting in our division and how long he's done it and what he can do. Like he's one of the only punters that can stand there and you have no idea where he's going. Like he has every ball in his bag, which is really, really cool. Last one, kind of throw that one up in the air. I'll just go Ray Guy because he was a Hall of Fame punter. So we'll just throw that one in there. And then kicking wise, obviously you'll throw Justin up there. He'll go down most likely as one of the best kickers of all time, if not the best, statistically for sure.
Yeah.
Adam Vinatieri, obviously for the kicks that he's had in games. Like you don't have Tom Brady's Super Bowls if you don't have Adam Vinatieri per se. Obviously, other guys could have still made those kicks, but with how many clutch ones he's made, it's funny. I think he was on the Pat McAfee show this whole week, and they were like showing like his highlight tape, and I thought that was he was even joking about it. Like I can't believe there's a kicker that has a highlight tape of like game winners, but yeah. Morton Anderson for having the field goal record for as long as he did, most points in a career. And then I'm gonna just throw him out there because he's one of my like really, really good friends. I like Graham Gano is a great dude. So I'm just gonna put him on there just because he's one of my close friends within the kicking community, I would say. So
Yep.
And Graham's a baller. When he's not hurt, that dude's
Yeah.
really freaking good. So yeah, those would be my personal opinions on my Mount Rushmores. So yeah, you can't. If we're going specialists just overall on all of those, like Justin's going to be on there, Adam's
Yeah.
going to be on there. You're probably putting Shane Leclerc on there, and you're probably putting Pat. It'll be the four that you probably end up. That I would throw up there. So
I like that. I was wondering if you were gonna throw Pat up there, Pat McAfee. I was wondering if you were gonna do it.
dude was dominant punting for his time. I mean, he's indoors, which you can give him a knock on, but just because he's indoors doesn't mean that's an issue.
Right.
He's still really, really good. And like I said, I think it's not only what you do within your career, it's also some of the stuff you do outside. Some of the love and respect he's given in the platform that he's given to specialists as a whole, I think is important. You have him hyping us up, and then you have other football commentators essentially saying like kicking should be taken out of the NFL completely. So, which
Gosh,
I have my personal opinions on. So that's usually.
I think most people would agree with you on those personal opinions, but
Yeah.
The thing with it is like football, it like very, very specifically, football was already a sport and there's rules and regulations within that sport. And not saying that you can't change the sport over time. Like obviously with baseball, they've changed the pitch clock and it's helped substantially within baseball.
Yep.
Now, yes, back in the day, you go to a baseball game and you sit there for 7 hours and watch baseball. There was nothing else to do. Now there's like more stuff they want to do, so they want to get the games done quicker. But like it hasn't changed like essentially the landscape of baseball. Now, the shift rule that they implemented and taken out, I think has been great for baseball as well because you actually allow hitters to hit versus playing to their tendencies and making baseball not fun to watch. So it's not only is it a 7 hour game, it's 7 hours of like a pitching duel that like wasn't even that good. It was just kind of bad hitting, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But within football, like there's these rules and regulations, and it's all these things set up to move the ball down the field. And historically with football, it was militarily based. So you're essentially trying to move like an object and put it in someone like the completion of tasks is like putting it either in the end zone or up through the uprights. Like that's the essential sport of football. I mean, with all the rules and regulations they got now, we're damn near going to be playing flag football with the next 20 years. With how many, with some of the stuff that they're doing, which again, player safety is one thing, but they're not making changes to rugby. They're not making changes to hockey. They're not making changes to the MMA. It's just because our sport has so many eyes on us that they got to like kind of mold it to what people do and don't want to see. But even like with some of those things, I miss watching. Like I grew up a Steeler fan, and watching like Troy Polamalu or Ryan Clark or James Ferrier or James Harrison or Brett Kiesel or something like that, like Larry Foote, something like that, like blow someone's head off when they're coming through the A gap, just smoking someone. It was fun to watch. Now they get fined $20K and might be suspended for it. So. Some of that stuff, obviously, like again, player safety. We're not trying to hurt people out there, but don't change football.
don't change the game.
Yeah. Long story short, with kicking, like I didn't ask for kicking to be a part of the game. Kicking is a part of football, so like obviously, it's because it's a part of it. You need to address it. And over time, it's become more and more important to the game because more and more games are coming down to kicks. And back in the day, kickers probably didn't make field goals at the ability that we do now, and so they didn't usually kick a lot of field goals. So it was a lot more just ground and pound football. But now with how the game's gone, we are getting more accurate, and we're getting better at our job, and the game is calling upon us a lot more to be a weapon. And some of the commentary of like, don't let football players be decided by soccer players, like that stuff. That stuff kind of pisses me off. So
that's stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it. I think the one rule that irks me the most, and I've done like 5 art projects, screen print projects for that, is the whole roughing the passer call. I I understand the concept of it, and I don't think it's a bad concept. It's the execution that kills everyone.
I think it's the bias to who gets the calls. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm going to speak from a complete mountain of bias on this one, but I just watched an entire season of Sam Howell get his head taken off
Yep.
in different
Yeah.
capacities. And if he was somebody with a different name and different amount of money on his contract, I think those calls would go a little bit differently. So,
Yep.
I think you can blame it on the refs, but I think it's it's not even. I mean, all the way up to the top end of it with Roger and the stuff that they have to do with football. It's just they understand that there's a market for success within football. So you got to you got to protect the people that make you the most amount of money.
Yeah.
And currently, Patrick Mahomes makes a lot of money for the NFL. So you probably want him playing on Sundays. And
Probably.
so any way that you can keep him in the game, you probably want to do that. But that all is good and well as long as you don't sacrifice the integrity of football. So
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Sam getting killed. Justin Fields, like his rookie season, just was not getting calls at all. Irks me.
yeah, I mean, you go back to even like Cam Newton,
Newton.
like he was a runner, and so
Yep.
like he was allowed to get completely torched on hits, and because he was a big body, like there was spoken about a couple times. He was like at his best weight, he was damn near like 270. Like I think he was like he was huge. And so to hit him, you had to like lay out to hit him. Like you had to put all your might in to hit
Yeah.
him. And so there was some times where Cam was playing to like run you over and you had to hit him and it was a good collision. There was other times where he would just get hit that same way from someone else. And because of that, like the hits don't look the same. Like you
No.
got to put all your might into him and he just kind of falls. You do that to someone else and they get absolutely crushed and they throw a flag for one and they don't throw a flag for him. So
No.
it's you want football to be competitive in a lot of aspects, and the competitive nature is the like kind of finite rules within the sport to allow us to be athletic in it and make plays and do all these crazy things. When you start adding like judgment into it, other people's judgment, that's when like you start losing the competitive nature of football. And
Yeah.
obviously, I think there's a fine line between allowing the game to stay competitive and then essentially propping it up to be too much of a financial stake to where you don't let football be football. And then you're gonna cater to the people that don't love big hits and stuff like that. And you're gonna lose all those people that love big hits. And I'm not gonna lie, the people that are probably diehard football fans are the ones that like the big hits and like
Big
the big
hits.
plays and things like that. So
Yeah.
don't lose the base of people that support,
Mhm.
support the game for sure.
Yeah. I think the one this year that stood out to me was actually Washington versus New England, the KJ Henry one, where I was like, oh yeah, sack, great, let's go. And they're like, flag on your ass. I'm like, I was like, what do you mean a flag? He rolled over him.
That was the first sack of his career too.
It was.
So, technically, but not
Just needs
technically
to do
because he
that
got
to the
taken
kid.
off.
I was like,
But
how are you gonna
it's
do
not
that?
even his first one. I mean, it could be freaking Miles Garrett's 180th.
Right.
It doesn't matter what number sack it is on someone's record or resume. It's just if I'm going, and I'm speaking completely from just watching. This is not like personal experience. I'm not rushing a passer every week. I'm not rushing a passer at all. But if I got Trent Williams, best tackle in football and most athletic dude some people have ever seen, and he is blocking me, and I finally get to get around him somehow, some way, and I'm barreling down on a passer that still is pump faking for the ball, and I have an opportunity to sack him, and I got to get this dude off of me, and I got to make a tackle. But in making that tackle, I have to think, well, when I hit him, I got to roll off of him. Like, Probably not going to be able to split second make that decision. And the fact that guys are able to shows you how freakishly athletic some of these guys are.
Yeah.
Like, I just beat someone that's like 315 pounds that I think can still probably do like a in between the legs, like dunk. And he's grabbing onto me, might even be holding me, don't even know what's going on. And I
Right.
still made the sack, and you want me to protect the quarterback in a way. And let that quarterback be someone like Josh Allen, that if you hit him full speed, you still might not be able to get him down, you know? So it's like, it's it's a very tough situation for some of those guys, but just kind of, like I said, it's kind of the nature of the sport. I mean, they're on the top end of it, but you look at, like, I was not frustrated as a whole with the rule with the like kickoff and stuff this year, but the fair catch for kickoff didn't, for at least us specifically, didn't have a lot of implications because we didn't have a return until week 14 and no one was going to fair catch on us. But like a guy like Jeremy Reeves for Washington, like, obviously he got the Pro Bowl. A lot of people started to recognize him as a player, which I think is awesome for him specifically. But his abilities aren't being able to be utilized as they should because of certain plays like that. But the financial compensation doesn't come for a player like that too. So like an edge rusher that gets a lot of money, like at least financially they're fine. Like they can obviously get the stats and notoriety they need. But if you end up having a situation like that on punt where Jeremy comes down full speed and ends up hitting a guy a little bit too early when he's not looking, and there's like this, you know, the protection on the returner, but like Jeremy's making a play while he's getting held by three people and just be like a double team off the line. He's getting held and he makes the tackle. All of a sudden they throw a flag on him because he hit the guy too early. And you're just like, okay, I get that you're protecting him, but like essentially the protection on the back end is like this dude just like torched everyone and you just took a play away from him. So there's a lot of things like that I don't want to see football, essentially go to. So
yeah, I I've spent like an hours talking about this with other fans and other people, so I'm not going to bore the details for you or the viewers. But I did want to ask this before we wrap things up. Your foundation, the Slye Strong 6 Foundation. Can you kind of give us, because I'm on the website right now, but give us like what went into that and kind of what the foundation itself is about.
Yeah, so I mean, very briefly with us, our foundation was started in honor of my brother. He passed away in 2014 from leukemia. Was diagnosed in 2012. 14-month battle. Went from UVA to Johns Hopkins to St. Jude, and really, really, like I said, tough battle with leukemia, and ended up passing away in February of 2014. Actually, his anniversary is up in like 10 days or 9 days on the 27th. So we while we were going through that battle, me and my family, the Stafford County community really wrapped their arms around us and provided my family with a lot of support in multiple different ways, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, all these different ways. And so for us, after my brother's life, he was 19 at the time, 20 at the time when he passed. His life was cut short, and someone that we really felt like would have had a very, I don't want to biasly say like an amazing life, but I mean, he would have been a very good person in our community and a good person overall, and like kind of a life-changing guy. And for his life to be cut short like it was just very tough for our family to deal with. And so we felt like the best opportunity to honor him the best way we can was to start a foundation in honor of him, and essentially carry on his legacy in any way that we can. And first, that starts with kind of representing our local community that helped us so much. So we give back to the 5 local high schools in our area. We give a $2,000 scholarship to people that emulate my brother in some type of facet. So athletes that were great in the classroom, great people in the community. And then our ultimate goal with that is to progress into where we keep donating and helping find a cure for cancer as a whole, but leukemia specifically as of now. And so we help with like LLS, things like that, different cancer societies, give back to St. Jude and stuff like that. Try to help with some of the hospitals in our local area that are supporting people that are going through similar battles or adversities as us, as a family. So our foundation is just set on trying to be a helping hand for those in the community that are going through a really hard battle. So that's the very, very basic understanding of what we do. So
Yeah. First of all, condolences, thoughts and prayers to your brother's passing. Sorry to hear that, and
appreciate it.
our love for you. But for those who tune into this and watch this, I will put the link down in the description. I will put a picture of it up on the screen. You guys can go to SlyeStrong6Foundation.org. You can see the stories, the impact. You can donate. You can see the community outreach, and the whole nine. Because I wanted to bring that up as not only something that's good just in general, but good for everyone, whether it's to donate, whether it's those being impacted or impacting those lives. I thought
Yeah,
it
I
was
mean,
just
all the
amazing.
within our kind of organization and foundation of what we do, everything goes right back in the community. So it's literally just my mom and dad and me and a couple other of our kind of closest friends that helped us set up the organization to begin with. We just everything that comes in goes right back out. So we're just trying to essentially be a funnel to figure out
Yeah.
where a lot of people, like I said, in our area, were just constantly like, hey, like how do we help? How do we help? How do we help? And because we've been through the battle a little bit, we know where the energy needs to go. So we
Right.
just are essentially uh, a foundation that kind of diverts that energy into the correct spots and correct locations and people that feel compelled to want to help and support. We try to give them an avenue to help do that. So and it has, like I said, it has direct impact on our community. And we actually have our foundation golf tournament is going to be June 7th down in Fredericksburg. We do it at the Gauntlet Golf Course down there, and you can sign up on there if you're anyone that's an avid golfer within the area. If you want to come down and have a good time, hear some testimonies from some of the people that knew my brother personally on different avenues, whether they're coaches or friends and things like that, people that knew my family as well. We all kind of go, it's like our yearly celebration of life down there at the golf course. So put on a really good kind of showing down there. And like I said, all those stuff helps us to give back to the community and we were able to upgrade our scholarships a couple of years ago from $1,000 to $2,000 scholarships for the high school kids around our area. So if we keep on bringing in more proceeds, then it's just going to continue to kind of increase that ability to help some of these kids that are, like I said, very productive members of the society go and get some financial aid going into different universities and stuff like that. So
Yeah. I will put all the links on the description here for those who do want to donate and are interested. You can go to SlyeStrong6Foundation.org/donate. You can download through PayPal, as the website says, and then I will put all the information for the golf tournament, for the donation drives, everything like that down in the description for everyone who wants to donate and support this amazing foundation.
I appreciate that, man. A lot.
Absolutely.
Definitely do.
Absolutely. That's gonna wrap things up, guys. Miss Slye, again, I've said this throughout the pod and before, but we are blessed and honored and thankful to have you on to give us some of your time this week.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having us on, or me on. This is definitely like kind of a cool thing you guys got going on, and happy to support. If you guys need anything from me, don't hesitate to ask. But yeah, keep throwing some vibes to the Commanders fans around the country from Virginia all the way out to Seattle.
Yeah.
But appreciate you guys just having me on and let me talk a little bit. So I appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Andrew, Chris, anything you guys want to add to wrap things up?
Nope. Good luck in future seasons. Rooting you on. Whatever happens, we're rooting for you. So thank you for coming on.
Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely, guys. Like I said, like and subscribe here on the channel. Head over to Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. You can find all of our links down in the description. You can find Mr. Slye's his Instagram and his foundation drive down in the description. It'll be the top pinned comment when this comes out, hopefully tomorrow afternoon, which is my plan. well, once again, love and thoughts and prayers out to you, Mr. Slye, and your beautiful wife and your family. Prayers out for the season. Hopefully for the Commanders, it turns into a better head. Because 4-13, as much as it hurts for us, I know it pains y'all the most. But hopefully things will get better for us. Commander season will look good. It will get better, hopefully, as this offseason comes on. Because the combine is in like 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
No, combine's in like a week.
One
Combine
Combine-
should be March, maybe 2 weeks. Should be like March 4th, isn't it?
Combine is next Monday. Combine is
Next
February
Monday.
26th through March 4th. So we will have stuff going on through that week. With the combine coming up and the draft, let's have a great time. And don't forget, let's support the Commanders and handle the Commanders. And don't forget to stay balling. We'll see y'all out there.